intro to get to the other bear. Oh, I forgot. Intro.
Annette Snipes asks, what do you want to see your music do?
Dance.
Besides dance.
I wanted to see it to have a big hit.
I
want to see it for you to be famous. I want to be a famous child. I want to be a famous daughter. I want Daddy to be a famous dad.
My big goal is to write a song that people would sing through generations. Just one. All I need is one. Next part of that question is, if most of your songwriting about you or your life or close friends, and if so, do they know it? No. Most of my songwriting is about my experiences.
God.
It's about God, yes. Most of my songwriting is about God, but it's about my experiences and in my life and how I'm feeling at that moment. It rescued me again. I was in a real drifting place. And if you don't know what that is as a Christian, just keep on living and you'll know it at some point. And I started to realize that, like, the things that I thought that I knew, I really didn't know. As a matter of fact, here's a link right here. Listen to it and listen to the words, listen to every single word, and you can hear where I was at in my life. Can't Contain My Praise, which is the new single out right now.
Can't contain my pride.
The funny part is that I was teed off at my wife, and I was moving, and she wasn't doing anything. I think she was pregnant, or she was whatever. And I was moving boxes, and I remember I said, bum, 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 bum. Yes, I once was lost. And I was like, oh, I think I got something. And so that's how that came. Okay. Have you ever wrote a song about one of your girls? Yes, I have.
You have?
Yeah. It'll be on the new album. It's coming.
Yay!
If you were to make it big, would you stay in one category such as gospel, or would you run with it and be a positive role model with healing, positive lyrics in the secular genre? No, I'll be gospel. I'm a gospel guy. That's where my gifting is. That's where my lane is. That's where my grace is. What my purpose is. And this isn't speaking to anybody else, so everybody has their different path. I'm not one of the people who says, you can only do gospel and that's it. I'm not that person. But my purpose is God's given me a gift of gospel music. And like, as long as I'm in that gifting, then I have the grace for it. I don't really have a desire to do secular music. I'm interested in telling a dying and hurting world that Jesus loves them and have a plan for their life. Patty Rodriguez asks, how did you finally decide to surrender your life to God? When I was a young lad, I was 5 years old. I was her age. All right, get out of here. This ain't your video. When I was her age, I had a dream that I was a Care Bear. It was the 80s. It was a great time. And I was a pink Care Bear. I went up to heaven, and the angel was looking, and he couldn't find my name on the list. Satan came up, and he said, I got you, and put his arms around me, and we fell from heaven through earth, and we landed in hell. And I woke up crying. I went to my mom's room, and I said, Mom, I don't want to go to hell. And she said, well, if you don't want to go to hell, you got to get saved. And she led me in the Lord's Prayer, and I was 5 years old. And from then on, we've been rocking and rolling. So that's how I surrendered that's how I got saved. Well, the surrendering part came a little bit later. But the beautiful part, listen, the beautiful part is that not too long ago, I had an opportunity to lead my oldest child and my second oldest child. I had an opportunity to lead them to Christ. And it was such a beautiful moment. And now they're Christians and they love Jesus, don't you?
Yeah. I love Jesus.
Yeah.
I even have my own Bible.
Fredia Jenkins says, what words of encouragement do you have for songwriters, current and future, especially when they feel misunderstood? Why are you trying to be understood? That's the word of encouragement. Why are you trying to be understood? If you're trying to write for approval and validation and all of that stuff, then you're dead before you started. Like, write the stuff that says what you want to say in the most pure way. And the people that understand, they'll understand, and the people that won't, they won't. But if God's really gifted you in this, then it'll find who it needs to find. Fred says, you're a brave guy and have made some bold moves in your life. Looking to the future, what scares you? So, a little context. I'm a Texas guy, born and raised in Texas, literally to my adult life. And if you know anything about Texas people don't move. I met my loving wife, got married, and she was in boot camp at the time. She was in boot camp when we got married. And when she came home from boot camp, she came and stayed with me in my Texas apartment for 15 days. We packed up the U-Haul, moved to California. She's in the Navy. Started a whole new life. Scariest thing of my life. Didn't want to do it. Did it. Worked out great. Worked out so great, in fact, that things started to change and we needed to be closer to family. I didn't want to go for a whole bunch of reasons, which is probably a whole nother video. I didn't want to go. Moved to Atlanta. Scariest thing in my life. We left a lot, starting completely over. Scary stuff. Recorded my first album in the Shepherd's Field. It didn't go how I thought it would go, because generally when you're on a journey, things typically don't. Learned a lot of lessons. It was part of me said that I'm not gonna record again. It's too much money, it's too much energy, it's too much emotions. It's a lot for a little in return. I'm recording again. New album's coming out soon. Didn't want to start a new business. Terribly afraid that I wasn't bubbly enough to talk to you guys like this. And I thought that I would be a terrible YouTube face. And here we are. It's scary stuff, man. So I said all of that to say that for those of y'all who has something on your heart, like God put something on your heart, God's giving you a dream, and you feel like that you're not special enough, welcome to the channel. Welcome to Everyday Dreamer. My name is Gerald. You feel like that you're not special enough, or that you're pretty average. Like, that's terrifying. Probably the scariest thing is that, what if one day I wake up and I'm 90 years old, survive this whole corona thing, and like all I did was, go to work 8 hours, come back, pay rent, pay the mortgage, pay the car note, do that whole thing all over again. And the only thing that people would say about me when it was my time to go is that he was a hard worker. I want to make an impact. I want God to use my life and make an impression in my generation. But I mean, honestly, like, everything that I do, man, I do it scared. Everything that I do, I'm doing scared. Like, talking to y'all right now, this is scary. Like, y'all are hard. And y'all are mean in the comments. And like, y'all say y'all are support and y'all don't support, and it hurts my feelings. It hurts our feelings. We make songs and we make music and y'all don't listen to it. Like, that's hard. And like, to to do something and it seemingly not work, and then to try to do something else, and you know how much you give into it, and you know how much you pour into it, and it seems like that there's nothing that's coming back from it. Like, that's the scary part. It's not the doing it, it's the doing it and seemingly having no results. That's the scary part. But I'll tell you this, and then I'll go. I think I've answered the question. In the Shepherd's Field, which I felt like it wasn't what I wanted. But this album is gonna be what I wanted. I'm telling y'all, this one is crazy. But in the Shepherd's Field, it wasn't what I wanted. But somebody messaged me and they said, that song, Lord, I Don't Deserve Your Grace, it was one line in there that said, my friends have so much beauty, it's not real. The scars of life have wounded me. They'll heal. When will the night end? It will. I think I'll do things myself. Be still and know that the wants and the wealth of this world will soon pass away. But if you wait on me, I'll do all that you need. I want to see your face, or something like that. I want to see your faith. And my response was, I can't believe your grace. And they said that when they heard that lyric, it answered a prayer that they've been praying for years. That's why. That's why. So for all of that other stuff, and you can learn lessons and make it better along the way, but knowing that God takes all your imperfections and uses it to impact somebody's life. That's it, man. So my biggest fear is not being available for God to use me like that. This was fun. So it's gotten dark, y'all. Time to go in the house. I tried to do something cool. It didn't work out. But that's how it goes sometimes. Until the next video.